To those that live in Italy, how is the situation right now with coronavirus and lockdown? Currently watching a university lesson from my bed, but my father went to work this morning. I'm in a region where the lockdown started officially today, so it's all pretty new. Let's hope people don't storm the grocery stores. Edit. Since a lot of people are mentioning it, there's no news about shortage of toilet paper and, at least in my area, no assault on grocery stores. Edit 2. We can get out of our houses. We are asked to do so just for necessity like buying groceries. We have to have a good reason if we want to leave our town. Edit 3. Since people suggested me to do an AMA after all the question I'm receiving, here you go. High school student here. Schools are simply closed and the TV is full of ads about washing your hands and avoid contact with other people. Edit. I forgot to say that each morning we have approximately 3 hours of video lessons from our laptop. I'm a nurse student in Italy. Right now I can't go to the university. I can't go to work. We shouldn't go out unless it's a necessity. So basically we need to stay home and finally finish our Netflix list. It may sound pretty cool for the first few days, but after a while it gets pretty depressing and boring. I got so bored that I cleaned everything at home. I live in Verona. I'm a 19 years old living alone because my mother and my father took it in Milan, and for the first time I'm home alone for a month. Pretty nice though. I play GTA 5 with my friends like the old days, doing some indoor workout and experimenting with cooking. I'm becoming a good chef. The school is quite annoying, but it's okay. I wake up at 7:30 and at 8 AM I start a 5 hours straight in front of my laptop for online lessons, and then I go cooking my lunch. I don't go out if not to buy some food and maybe some cigarettes because the situation it's not good. There is no space left in the intensive therapy, so if I get really sick, they would have to remove someone to save me, since I would have better chance of surviving. This is why I almost never go out. Once a week. I don't want to be the reason for someone's death. Okay, I wrote cocking twice, stop memeing at me, I'm Italian, okay. I have a daughter living in Serrano, but she works in Milano. She is housebound, on lockdown. Her courses are being done via Skype. Her employer has asked her not to come to work. She is not allowed to leave her house unless it is an emergency, which I hope never happens. She says there has been quite a bit of panic buying at the supermarkets. All the restaurants are pretty much empty. However, they are allowed to be open between 6 AM and 6 PM. People who are seated should have at least a 1 meter distance between them at restaurants. Tourist areas, Egg Duomo in Milano, are devoid of almost anybody. All school and universities remain closed. All sporting or any kind of events have been suspended. Ski resorts are closed. The same for cinemas, theaters, discos. All church services have been suspended. Whilst the measures may seem extreme, Italy has been the hardest hit worldwide besides for China, so it's necessary to curb travel and cultural activities to stop the spread of the virus. I'm a university student, and since last week we have been doing lessons via Microsoft Teams or Google Classrooms. I don't really like these methods, but it's the only alternative. So, there's a fair amount of psychosis between a big chunk of the population. Supermarkets have been raided overnight. We are advised to not leave our houses unless it's necessary, but you can fill a form on your own to certify that you need to go to work. So basically everyone is running around without a real examination of that form because literally anyone can do that. The only thing that has been really impacted by this is nightlife and sports, since every league of every sport is suspended until April. Sorry for asking a question here, as I am not exactly answering yours, OP. Are tourists allowed to fly out of Italy, or are they supposed to stay in Italy until the lockdown is over? Edit. You Pinnacone Sloth, thanks for the award. Thanks everyone else for your comments. I asked this question because a colleague of mine flew in on Sunday with their family to northwest Italy for a week-long skiing holiday. They didn't want to lose the money, so they went. I have been made aware that they are being sent back today itself, and the rest of their trip was refunded. They are going to self-isolate for 2 weeks, but I do agree with the ones who mentioned about infecting others on their way home from the airport. For a couch potato like me, it's awesome. I can watch my uni lessons online and in my free time play a fuck ton of video games or work out a little bit. Also, I think we're allowed to leave and get some fresh air. So except for the deadly virus thing, everything is okay. I'm Italian but live abroad. Currently my brother is in one of the high-risk zone in the north. He works at the university as a researcher. Today he went to work and the laboratories was empty. Starting from tomorrow the uni told him to stay at home and that the structure will be temporarily closed. He was planning an exchange with the laboratories in Ireland for April, but I think it's cancelled. He's worried of course and a bit bored too, but he understands that the situation is critical and that we have to give our contribution to avoid the spreading. My cousin is in Bologna where the situation is surreal. According to him, no one is on the streets and the supermarket got assaulted multiple times from people concerning that they would have run out of food, which is not going to happen since supplies are guaranteed. My parents live in a small city in the south where only 4 cases were registered in the entire region so far, so they are not much concerned. But they are taking precautions if the situation will get worse and they are trying to stay at home when possible. Luckily their jobs are not at risk because my mother works in public administration and my father can work on remote. I live in Germany instead. Yesterday I went to a pharmacy and I could get a couple of face masks just in case. The ladies there understood from my accent I wasn't German, so they asked me where I was coming from. As soon as I said I was Italian they jumped away. I felt like I needed to specify I was living here and had no contact with Italy since December. That felt bad. Right now I'm in my office in Tuscany, 20 miles away from my home. This morning at 7 a.m. we hadn't any problem moving around, but I don't know how things will evolve outside my workplace. There are a lot of different informations about what you can and what you can't do from all the media, so I'm here hoping to not getting sick and still be capable at least to move to home tonight and maybe came back to work in the next days. Some say life goes on like always, others say everything is compromised. I'm just here, waiting for things to develop. I have friends in northern Italy quarantined in their homes, my mum in hospital working with face masks and generally people freaking out. They say grocery shopping will be guaranteed, so overall I'm not even worried about it. Maybe is the chance to have some days off and enjoy my home and some games. Unrequested update, is 6 p.m. While working we got a document to show to police officers if we get stopped while going from a commune, something like US municipalities, to another. In this document we declare who we are and why we aren't in our home. You can move by car, bike, whatever if you have to meet your family, older people who need care, children and so on, or go to work. Every other reason is forbidden. Right now you still can go around the commune where you live without almost any problem. You only have to keep distance from people around you. Traffic is quite low, compared to last week for example, but people still do their things. A lot of non-fundamental services are closed but you can still go to a pharmacy, hospital, gas stations and big workplaces like industries. Social life is paused. Almost everything else is still active in my life. I've been locked in my house with my 2 sisters and my mother for 2 weeks and I still have a month ahead of me. PLS send help. Edit. To be clear I was joking. Imperfectly fine. The situation is not that bad, we can go out to buy groceries or to work. The big problems are that some people are losing their jobs and how the economy will be affected, now and in the aftermath. I'm returning back to my place after I kept my GF company yesterday. Thing is, her parents work and I'm scared AF that somehow I got it and it's just waiting to show symptoms. The paranoia will only increase in the next few weeks. This is still not the worst moment. Also, I will never thank enough all the people working in the medical field RN. They are the true heroes. I hope when things are over we'll invest more in public health and be more conscious about safety standards. Edit. Since it was not clear in the comment. I do not have symptoms. I was not in contact with anyone that had symptoms. I was just at my GF's place and became paranoid since both her parents work, and my mind started thinking, what if they have it, but without symptoms, and you caught it, without symptoms, and next week you and your family will be in ICU? I'm known in the family as the most rational person, but when the situation is like this, a bit of paranoia is inevitable, especially if you know the risks. On the other extreme we have idiots that keep doing parties in their basements despite the lockdown. FML. Why did it get so bad in Italy? Anyway, it seems so disproportionate and random that Italy of all places got slammed by this disease. A few factors were against Italy that made it such a hotbed. It is a massive tourist destination. Italy has one of the largest tourist industries in the world, ranked 5 by number of visits in 2018. It attracts food tourists. Its wine regions are popular. It has stunning beaches. And then we have the cultural aspect, whether that's the Roman ruins or medieval or Renaissance architecture. This means that Italy was pretty much sure of getting some people who were infected. Once the infection started, Italy has another key factor. It has one of the oldest populations on Earth. Third if we don't count tiny places like Monaco or St. Miquelon. This means that it is extremely sensitive to an infection that disproportionately affects the elderly. For a benchmark, the median age in Italy is 7 years older than the US. As such, the amount of people who will die require medical attention for this disease is higher.